In the early 19th century, frontiersman John Coulter, a veteran of the Lewis and Clark expedition, found himself in a desperate situation. While trapping beaver pelts with his partner John Potts on the Jefferson River, they were ambushed by hundreds of Blackfeet warriors, a tribe wary of American encroachment. Potts was quickly killed, and Coulter was stripped naked and given a terrifying choice: run. What followed was a brutal hunt across the plains, where Coulter, barefoot and unarmed, was pursued relentlessly. He endured unimaginable pain, running for miles over sharp rocks, his body pushed to its absolute limit. The sun beat down mercilessly, turning the earth to a furnace beneath his bare feet. Each step was agony, a fresh wave of fire shooting up his legs. His breath came in ragged gasps, each inhale a burning reminder of his exertion. The Blackfeet warriors, their painted faces contorted in savage glee, were relentless. Their war cries echoed across the vast expanse, a constant reminder of the impending doom. Coulter stumbled, his vision blurring, but the thought of Potts' lifeless eyes spurred him onward. He had to survive. He had to escape. Days blurred into a nightmarish cycle of running, hiding, and enduring. He scavenged for berries and insects, anything to keep his strength up. Sleep offered no respite, only haunted dreams of capture and torture. One sweltering afternoon, as the relentless pursuit closed in, Coulter saw his chance. His pursuers, confident in their victory, had grown careless. A broken spear lay discarded on the parched earth. With a surge of adrenaline, Coulter snatched it up. He whirled around, surprising the lead warrior, and thrust the jagged point forward. The warrior fell with a guttural cry, his eyes wide with disbelief. Coulter didn't wait to see the reaction of the others. He knew this act of desperation had bought him only a few precious moments. He turned and ran with renewed vigor, the image of the fallen warrior fueling his flight. The chase intensified, the Blackfeet warriors now fueled by rage and vengeance. Coulter could hear their pounding footsteps drawing closer, their blood-curdling screams echoing in his ears. He pushed himself harder, his lungs burning, his muscles screaming in protest. Just as his strength began to fail, he saw it, the shimmering ribbon of the Madison River. Hope surged through him, a lifeline in the sea of despair. He plunged into the icy water, the shock stealing his breath away. He submerged himself completely, holding his breath until his lungs screamed for air. The freezing water numbed his pain, but it also threatened to sap his strength. He stayed hidden, a silent statue beneath the surface. As the Blackfeet warriors searched the riverbank, their frustrated shouts echoed above him, but they couldn't see him. They eventually moved on, their anger simmering, their hunt temporarily thwarted. Coulter waited until the sounds of their departure faded into the distance. Then, shivering and exhausted, he emerged from the water. He had survived, but his ordeal was far from over. He knew he had to find his way back to civilization, a journey that would test his resilience even further. But for now, he was alive. He had stared death in the face and refused to yield. The river flowed on, carrying him toward an uncertain future. But he would face it one step at a time. He would survive. He would live. The will to live burned brighter than ever before. He knew he had to find his way back to civilization, a journey that would test his resilience even further. But for now, he was alive. He had stared death in the face and refused to yield. The river flowed on, carrying him toward an uncertain future. But he would face it, one step at a time. He would survive. He would live. The will to live burned brighter than ever before. He knew he had to find his way back to civilization, a journey that would test his resilience even further. But for now, he was alive. Coulter's desperate flight was a testament to the will to live. Decades later, another man would face an equally daunting challenge. In 1960, Soviet surgeon Leonid Rogozov found himself at a remote Antarctic research station. A blizzard had cut them off from the world. Then, Rogozov was struck with acute appendicitis. Isolated and with no way to evacuate, Rogozov realized the grim truth. His only chance of survival was to operate on himself. Imagine the scene: a lone figure in a frigid outpost. He was surrounded by snow and ice, preparing for an unprecedented act of self-surgery. With limited resources, Rogozov gathered his instruments. He used only local anesthetic to numb the area. He knew the risks were immense. Guided by a mirror and his profound medical expertise, he began. The 2-hour ordeal was a descent into hell. Nausea washed over him in waves. Pain seared through his abdomen. He fought to maintain consciousness, his vision blurring. Each cut was a gamble, each stitch a victory against death. He had to navigate the delicate structures of his own body. He was acutely aware that any mistake could be fatal. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, he located the infected appendix. With trembling hands, he carefully removed it. He knew he had done it just in time. The relief was overwhelming, but the battle wasn't over. He still had to close the incision, fighting against weakness and exhaustion. Slowly, painstakingly, he sutured the wound. Finally, he bandaged himself. He collapsed onto his cot, utterly drained. Rogozov's self-surgery stands as a testament to human resilience. It shows the unwavering will to live against impossible odds. His body began to heal. Slowly, he regained his strength. 2 weeks later, he returned to work. He was a symbol of unwavering determination. His colleagues looked at him with awe and respect. He had stared death in the face and emerged victorious. Rogozov's story echoed Coulter's in its raw display of human grit. Both men refused to surrender even when faced with certain doom. Their stories became legends, whispered in hushed tones. They were examples of what humans are capable of when pushed to the limit. But the trials of men were not over. Another story of survival against all odds was about to unfold. This time, it was a young woman who would defy death's grasp. Her Name was Juliane Kuepke. She was about to experience a horror unlike any other. It would test her strength, her knowledge, and her will to live. Her story would become another chapter in the book of human endurance. It would be a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope can prevail. The human spirit is indomitable. It can overcome any obstacle. It can survive even the most unimaginable horrors. These stories are not just about survival. They are about the power of the human spirit. They are about the refusal to give up, even when all seems lost. They are about the extraordinary capacity of humans to endure. They are about the will to live, which burns brightly within us all. They are about the decision not to give up. They are about the triumph of the human spirit over adversity. They are about the enduring power of hope. They are about the resilience that lies within each and every one of us. Leonid Rogozov's story of self-surgery became legendary, but the will to survive manifests in countless forms. In 1971, 17-year-old Juliane Kuepke experienced a horrific plane crash over the Amazon rainforest. Lightning struck the aircraft, causing it to break apart mid-air, and Juliane plummeted thousands of feet, still strapped to her seat. Miraculously, she survived the fall, landing in the dense jungle. Alone, injured, and with limited vision, she drew upon the survival knowledge passed down from her parents, both zoologists. Her parents had taught her much about the jungle, knowledge that would prove critical. For 10 grueling days, she followed a river, battling infection, hunger, and exhaustion. The humid air was thick with the buzzing of insects, each bite a fresh torment. Her clothes were torn and muddy, her skin scratched and bleeding. But Juliane pressed on. She remembered her mother's words, "The river will always lead you to people." The jungle floor was a treacherous maze of tangled roots and decaying leaves. Each step was a test of her resolve, each night a battle against despair. She ate only what she could find, a few berries, some roots, anything to keep her strength up. The sounds of the jungle were both terrifying and comforting. The screech of monkeys, the rustle of unseen creatures, the constant hum of life and death intertwined. One day, she found a small package of candy, the only salvageable item from her bag. It was a small comfort, a reminder of the world she had lost. But it gave her hope. Her legs were covered in insect bites, some already festering, but she kept moving. She knew that stopping meant certain death. The river was her only guide, her only companion. She imagined her parents, their faces etched with concern, urging her onward. Their love was a beacon in the darkness, a source of strength she didn't know she possessed. She battled against the urge to give up, to succumb to the pain and exhaustion. But something inside her refused to let go. She would survive. She had to. The jungle tested her at every turn, with hidden dangers lurking beneath every shadow. She had to find the strength to keep going, to keep pushing forward, no matter the cost. She focused on the image of her father's face, his gentle eyes filled with love and encouragement. That image gave her the strength to take another step, and another, and another. She knew that her parents would never give up on her, and she refused to give up on herself. Days turned into nights, and nights turned into days, but Julianne never lost hope. She repeated her mother's words like a mantra, clinging to them as if they were a lifeline. "The river will always lead you to people," she whispered, her voice hoarse and weak. She imagined her mother smile, her warm embrace, and the promise of a better tomorrow. She knew that she had to keep moving, that she had to keep fighting for her parents and for herself. On the 10th day, she spotted something in the distance, a small, dilapidated shack. With renewed energy, she stumbled towards it, her heart pounding with hope. She found a group of local fishermen who were startled by her sudden appearance. They cleaned her wounds, gave her food and water, and listened to her incredible story. They couldn't believe that anyone could survive such a fall, such an ordeal. But Julianne was living proof of the extraordinary power of the human spirit. The fishermen transported her to the nearest village, where she received proper medical attention. She was eventually reunited with her father, their embrace a testament to the enduring bonds of family. Julianne Koepke became known as the miracle girl of the Amazon. Her story, a symbol of resilience and the will to live against all odds. Her unwavering resolve eventually led her to find help, making her the sole survivor out of 92 passengers. These stories highlight the extraordinary capacity of the human spirit to endure and overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges, proving that sometimes survival is simply the decision not to give up. It is the refusal to die. These survivors teach us that even in the face of unimaginable adversity, the human spirit can triumph. Their stories are a testament to the power of hope, the importance of resilience, and the unwavering will to live. They remind us that we are all capable of extraordinary things, that we can overcome any obstacle if we refuse to surrender. Their legacy lives on, inspiring generations to face their own challenges with courage, determination, and an unyielding belief in the power of the human spirit. These are not just stories of survival. They are stories of the triumph of the human spirit. They are stories of hope, resilience, and the unwavering will to live. They remind us that even in the darkest of times, there is always light to be found, and that even when all seems lost, the human spirit can endure and overcome. These are the stories of those who refuse to die, and their legacy will continue to inspire us all. Their courage and determination serve as a beacon of hope for all who face adversity.